Hello, imaginary internet friends. I am Mild Kratz. Welcome to what I'm going to start calling Chit Chats with Mild Kratz. It's probably going to replace the vlogging and rambling playlist, so if that kind of disappears, know that this is what that is, or that was what this is now. Anyway, so the big news in my life today, which is hardly big news at all necessarily, I was followed on Twitter back by Andrew WK, which is cool. And I don't know, I just had kind of a positive thing to say on the positive thing that he had to say, which basically boils down to, like, if you can be a good person, have the opportunity to do that, doesn't cost you very much, you probably should. And so I think I want to talk a little bit today. It got me thinking about, like, I was raised Christian and in a Christian household. Went to church every week and that sort of thing, and those things were formative in my youth, and I haven't tried to stray too far from that necessarily. I'd still consider myself a Christian and have those beliefs, but I don't know. As an adult, I've had to evaluate what those beliefs mean to me, and I think that's critically important for anyone. You should always be evaluating what you believe and why. But to me, something about Christianity that I always thought was weird is that when you ask a Christian person why they do something good, there's a higher than usual % chance they'll say, well, you know, I want to get into heaven. And I think that's crap. I really do. Just because you're always taught as a kid, I think, that you don't do something nice to get a reward. You do something nice because it's the right thing to do. And I don't know, isn't that kind of the adult version of going against what you just said there? If that's your reason for doing something? I'm just... Okay, I mean, I guess I call it, or I've heard it called fire insurance Christianity, right? Where you're, at the very least, you accept God into your heart and you do the things that you think you should, just because the alternative would be going to hell. And I'll admit that I think hell sounds like a rather undesirable place, but I also think God looks at and evaluates, your heart. And so I guess that's my take on spirituality and kind of belief systems for me. Do something good just because it's the right thing to do, if for no other motivations. I think if you do the right things anyway, then things are going to fall in place for you. I know that karma is not necessarily a Christian belief, but I really do believe that the world works in such a way that what you put out into the universe has a way of coming back to you in one way or another, and that works for being a good person, being not a good person. It's just kind of how things shake out, I believe. And whether that's just how the world operates, or if there's something, higher than that kind of operates on that frequency, it kind of doesn't matter, right? I mean, the whole point is, the best reward I've ever gotten in my life, by the way, is the feeling of knowing I did something that positively impacted someone else's life. Anytime that I know that I've done something good, whether that person knows that I did it or not, that carries me through the rest of the day. That's kind of like the selfish feeling I can take with it, just from being like, I did the right thing, Like, I literally can't describe it. It's an indescribable feeling, just because, and everyone's had this before, it does make you feel lighter, maybe, and just happy. But I think that's what joy is, maybe. And it's kind of like a more sustained version of happiness. So, I mean, I just think of that. I think happiness is very fleeting. People look for it materialistically with different things, or if I was dating this girl, or, if I had, if my kids did these things or whatever, or had I been able to become a professional athlete or actor or gotten this job or whatever, you can definitely spend your entire life chasing happiness, which, by the way, is fleeting. So find a way to put something good back into the world, and I think you'll be able to find something better than happiness. That's just my theory anyway. I think I'm rolling up on like nearly 5 minutes, and I didn't really want to talk too long. It's just kind of a brief thing. Okay, so the last note, I guess, still looking at dates for doing this, but I am still talking about and thinking about doing a 24-hour charity stream. The reason I'm doing some more kind of like vlogging, rambling stuff right now anyway is just because I've noticed I'm getting kind of a lot of like fuzz and hum noises like out of my USB mixer that's hooked up to my computer. And I think I have some solutions for that I have, I've already ordered and have coming in the mail. So I'm waiting on those things to come in to see if they're going to fix my problems. But in the meantime, I kind of have, like I've mentioned before, I have two audiences that I'm trying to balance and keep happy. And the thing is, I love YouTube and I love making videos, and I love making both types of videos. So for me, it's kind of blissfully following what makes me happy anyway, to do either one. So I'm going to keep trying to put out as many videos as I can without killing myself. And yeah, I don't know. So I just keep tuning in. You'll see things probably populate on either side of my channel, which, and it might even expand some. I'm always trying to get into sketch comedy and do some other funny or different things with this channel. I think if you haven't seen my video, Yo, I Gotta Work Tomorrow, LOL, or something like that. It's a new hit single from Kratz, I think is maybe what I called it. If you haven't seen that video, that's kind of like my attempt at doing something weird and unique and humorous. And I think it is that. I mean, I watch it and I still laugh, which is probably a good sign. But I want to get more into like sketch comedy and things like that. But that requires collaboration, cooperation from other people. I mean, to do it by yourself is a lot more difficult, especially to, I always think that the best things and the things that are funniest are when people can really collaborate on something and everyone can bring their own part to it, and then they all find it funny. For example, if anyone's ever watched Community. But anyway, I'm at 7 minutes now, and I think my whole point was like I'm going to be doing a charity live stream coming up soon for the Wayne Foundation, which supports the fighting of, or like the combatancy toward, what am I trying to say here? They don't like sex trafficking, especially child sex trafficking, which is a big problem in our country and one that we don't like to talk about because it's awkward. And that's not a good enough reason not to be fighting it and not to be talking about it. So I'm going to be trying to do everything I can to help the Wayne Foundation and that charity coming up. But I, again, don't really have a date yet. So at the moment I do. I'm sure I'll make another video, hopefully one that's like less than 9 minutes. But thanks for tuning in if you watched this. If you made it all the way to the end, I should probably mail you a puppy or something, but I don't have one for you. If you do want to contact me, though, I don't know. I'm going to maybe set up a P.O. box at some point, but if you want to contact me through messages and YouTube and stuff, maybe there'd be something I can send you. Probably something really cheesy and generic, but hey, I'll take a silver Bic pen and scratch some initials on it if you think it'll be worth something someday. I mean, spoilers, it won't, but it's up to you. Anyway, I've been Kratz. This is me in traditional rambling style. I'm trying to, actually, the last thing I'll say is I'm trying to kind of like fill in the gap right now for Boogie, who just underwent some bariatric surgery, which to my understanding, although being difficult, is something he's managing to get through. And if that's, about the best he can say about it right now, he is still plodding along through it. I don't know. I guess he doesn't really have an option to jump in a time machine and not do it anymore. But I hope him, the best towards that recovery process. And even though little channels like me need opportunities like this where other people can't post something every day, I do wish him a speedy recovery and a full recovery, and I'm eagerly anticipating his weight loss. I think that's going to be a really cool thing to follow. I think that's what YouTube is all about, is this like personal aspect of being able to dive into people's lives and see what they're up to and what they're about and where they're headed. Anyway, I've been Kratz. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys at a later time, another video, something like that. I'm terrible. Why do you guys watch all the way to the end? Hopefully you don't. Anyway, see you next time.